Yeah, yeah, yeah. Roll up the green, hit the links with RGB. Pitch, putt, and puff, it's our podcast theme. Talking Burt and Bogies, holding one dream. Golf cart cruising, we're the illest team. Pitch, putt, and puff, light it up, hit the rough. Every swing's a story, we can't get enough. Hazards and high times, we know it's tough, but we live for the game, fam, that's our stuff. Got my clubs in the trunk, blunt in the front. Tee off in the noon, cause we don't bunt. Discussing the course, weed strains for lunch. Straight shooters on the greens, not a front. Pitch, putt, and puff, light it up, hit the rough. Every swing's a story, we can't get enough. Hazards and high times, we know it's tough, but we live for the game, fam, that's our stuff. Smoking aces, laces tied tight. With a puff we fly, elevate the night. Golf ball soaring, higher than a kite. Fairway to heaven, shining real bright. Pitch, putt, and puff, light it up, hit the rough. Every swing's a story, we can't get enough. Hazards and high times, we know it's tough, but we live for the game, fam, that's our stuff.
Welcome back to another episode of the Pitch, Putt, and Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. Appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight. Before we get rolling here, just going to give a shout out to a couple sponsors. We got Transcend Wellness over at 289 Oakwood Avenue in Troy. Make sure you guys stop in there, check them out. Everything you're looking for, flower, pre-rolls, edibles, tinctures, vapes, you name it, they got it over there. Variety of different brands, from Heirloom to Dank, Jaunt, you name it, they got it over there. Go check them out. I just grabbed a nice Heirloom cereal milk I've been puffing on lately. So this thing is cereal milk's probably my favorite flavor for the vapes when you get down to it. So definitely recommend that. Go check them out. They got disposables, cartridges, literally everything you're looking for. Definitely more on the wellness side of things. The way it's set up, where if you're looking for something for rest or recovery, pretty much right there for you. So looking for something for rest, they have a section with a bunch of CBN options, as well as all your THC and everything else. So go check them out, 289 Oakwood Ave. You don't feel like leaving the house, you can set up a delivery at transcendwps.com. And you can also pre-order and pull right up to the drive-thru. Don't even have to get out of the car. The weather is finally starting to warm up here in upstate New York. Almost there for golf season. So hopefully we'll see some grass soon enough. But go check out transcendwps.com and let them know the Pitch, Putt, and Puff crew sent you. Also, we got our guys over at Shady Shafts. Make sure you guys go check out shadyshafts.com. Use promo code PUFF20 to save yourself 20%. Shady Shafts offers you wraps for your irons, your drivers, wedges, doesn't matter. Bunch of different options of style for every golfer. The camouflage effect, smoke effect. And you can also do some minor customizations, where I have the smoke effect with the cannabis flower, as you see in the video here. And I got RGB put right on the side of them there. So really cool over there, Shady Shafts. So make sure, easy to apply as well. So it can be done within minutes. Make sure you guys go check out shadyshafts.com. Use promo code PUFF20 to save yourself 20%. And then I got to give a shout out to my guys over at Back Nine Botanicals. They got a really dope raffle going on right now, giving away a golf bag, a set of their gummies, as well as some golf balls. So go check them out, back9botanicals.com. These guys are the leaders in the CBD world of the golf game. They got your Players Blend, your Birdie Boost, your Moonlight Mulligan, literally something for every point of your day to get you through it. Over there, you can use promo code TPUFF10 to save yourself 10% at checkout, back9botanicals.com. And make sure you go, I just posted it in my story, and you go on their page. They're doing the raffle for the golf bag, so go check that out. Take a quick break here, and then we will get rolling with the podcast. All right, we're back in it here. I'm going to get into it with a little quick solo episode here. I haven't done one of these in a while, but we're going to get into the mental game of golf. Different ways people approach the game. You guys have the same routine when you show up to the course, where you get there a little early, get some practice putts in, work on some chipping, maybe get to the range if one's available, that kind of thing. And me personally, I'm one of those guys where I don't put too much practice time in. My practice is midweek when I'm out on the course and working on some things, where one day in particular I'll really just focus on my short game, or okay, I want to try to hit my irons this way, that kind of thing. A lot of it last season was focusing on the driver, and honestly I think there was too much focus on the driver to where it got to me mentally. and started taking away from what I was doing well with it, and then over focusing on working on my driver, trying different things, trying to put a draw, get a little more distance, over swinging. I do have an extremely quick backswing, so I know that plays a lot of factor. But something I really want to work on this year is the mental aspect of the game, where I can stay locked in, work on one particular thing, stay with it, and just continue to fine tune all these things to get more consistent. Mikey brought it up last episode when I asked the guys what they wanted to get better at, and Mikey brought up consistency, and that's one of the things in golf, especially average golfers like we are. It's very difficult to do, and that's what makes the game so hard. So to really just fine tune a few things and lock in and stay focused on what I'm doing for 18 holes is really what I'm looking to do on the mental side of things. The struggles, the struggles that come with it are tough too, because you're out there having a day where you're getting off the tee well and consistently and hitting the ball well, but the short game's not there. You get the yips. So all of a sudden you're sculling one across the green, got a good chance at maybe a birdie on a par 5, and you scull your chip shot across the green. So it's shots like that. And then Brad mentioned also the 3 putts. You got to really lock in on the putting, especially our home course, Freer Park, very undulated greens. So there's always a lot of movement, and they're super fast. So the speed is going to play a major factor. And what you're doing is, 8 to 10 footers, you got to really try to knock them in within striking distance on your next shot, if not bury it. You really can't leave a lot of putts on the green, and I see it a lot out there. I'll go to the course at the Freer with some really good golfers. Guys will get to the green no problem, but it's when they get to the green is when the true struggle starts for them. So it's something at that course where you see a lot of guys losing strokes. And like we were talking about before, you're probably going to lose 5 to 8 strokes around on the greens of Freer if you're not putting well. And that, when you look at the scorecard and look back and you shoot that 85, 86, and a couple of those putts could have had you breaking 80. So it's very tough to do out there. The mental game of it is something I definitely want to work on. Really just staying focused. It's tough out there. You're keeping score, you're bullshitting, trying to have a good time with it. But when you're out there playing a serious round, you want to make sure you're productive and posting a good score, especially on a Sunday where we got a couple bucks in the line, and you don't want, you're going to end up being paired up with someone else. So you don't want to let someone down because you shot a 94 that day when you're a mid 80s golfer, and where, 2-3 strokes difference could have been the cash for you. And that happens a lot on Sundays. You see it. It's that one guy who has a tough day and ends up affecting someone else who's normally right on the top. So going to be interesting to see how everything plays out this season. But I feel like if I just put the time and effort into really locking in on certain things and fine tuning them to a point to where I can just be more consistent throughout my whole game, will make a huge difference. Also, the one thing I was talking to someone about recently is the cannabis portion of the pitch, putt, and puff. Now, is this one of those things that helps you in the long scheme of things to where you do get a little bit more focused? I mean, I know there's a lot of different strands out there. We have a lot more knowledge about the cannabis side of things. And to mentally stay locked in, is there a particular strand that's going to give me a little bit more focus to where I can lock out the small things that, the chirping in the background, someone talking in the backswing, that kind of thing, or whatever else is going on at the course. So I find it both ways, personally. I find it to where, and I don't necessarily know what kind of strain it is or whatever, but there's a certain level is what I can compare it to. So when you get to a certain level, you can stay that locked in portion of it. It's kind of similar to drinking. If you're out there having a couple drinks, you can go out there, okay, you got a nice little buzz on, you're feeling good, you're having a good time, you're at a good level, you're playing, you're focused. It's similar with cannabis to where, you might smoke a joint, and then, someone hits the pen a couple times or whatever the case may be, or you pop a couple gummies before and you thought they were 5s, but they were 10s, and you find out by the 3rd hole you're a little bit too buzzed up. Whatever the case may be, how much is that going to affect your game? Me personally, if I was to have 2 or 3 drinks, it would affect my game totally different way than it would be to have 2 or 3 joints, just because of me not really being a drinker. So I can see the days where, there's the times where we do go overboard, and I lose the focus because we're out there kind of having a good time. But there's also the times where you just get that right level, and your swing feels right. You're feeling great with the putter. You got the groove. You're reading the greens particularly well, and sometimes I feel like the cannabis portion of it could be a major factor in that. So it's also something that you just gotta keep it under control, kind of thing. It's one of those keep it under control, just like everything else. Same as drinking. Once you're out there, you have the fireball starts going, cart girls coming around, not too busy on the course, so you see a couple extra times, that kind of thing. You see it out there. Guys that have a good round going, by the 12th, 13th hole, that buzz is really kicking in, and the round starts to fall apart. Very similar on the cannabis side of things. So pretty pretty interesting when I was thinking about it, how the similarities of both, and what the focus level can be. But like I said, I just think it's different levels to it. As long as you find your level of comfort, it can be very beneficial on the golf course, especially. And don't forget to use the Back Nine Botanicals CBDs. Those are good if you don't want the buzz, but you still want the feeling. Go check them out. T-Puff 10 will save you 10% at checkout. The other thing I was curious about what certain people do, does everybody have the same approach to golf than they like when they get there? Is it, all right, I'm showing up today like a routine? Like when I played other sports, I had a particular routine for a basketball game. I had a particular routine for a baseball game growing up. Now, do guys kind of carry that over into the golf game where, okay, I'm going to go to basketball, I'd shoot 10 free throws and then work my way back to the 3-point line? Do guys go and, try to make a putt from within 5 feet and then push it back 10 feet kind of thing? Working on the short game, do you, work on the bump and run opposed to a flop shot? Like I'm always curious to what people's routine is and approach to around the golf. Obviously, getting a little older, so you might have to do a little stretching and all that kind of thing. So, me personally, in that aspect, I'm a run and gun guy. Kind of always been for the most part. I do try to, if I do have the time, get there a little early, do a little putting. Freer Park, unfortunately, doesn't have a driving range, so try to, get a few chips in. Definitely try to get some putts in just to get the speed of the greens for the day, and that kind of thing. But with the chip in, there's always a bunch of people over there, so there's not much room to work. But on the putting green, I always really just try to get the pace of the greens for the day. They always cut them nice and tight, especially on a Sunday, as we've been talking about on the podcast here. But yeah, just the approach, just a different approach people take to the game. Do you take is it similar to like I said before, growing up, where you had a routine of when you played a football game, basketball, baseball? I think this year I'm going to really try to focus on a routine, get there a little early, work on some putting, work on some chipping, just to get more, like I said earlier, got to get consistent. Got to get consistent to where I'm doing the same thing all the time and make it productive, to where I was at the stage the past couple of years where I was continuing to try a bunch of different things. And certain things were successful for a short period of time. Some things still work. Like my putter seems to be working out just fine for me. Got a nice smooth stroke with it, no diddy, and really good at. I think my best part of why I'm a good putter is because I read the greens really well and see where the ball is going to break and that kind of thing. Fairway always busts my chops. Hey man, how did you know that was going to break that way? It's just one of those things when we're there every day. It's something you figure out as you go. But I'm really looking forward to the season. Hoping to have the whole crew back, going to touch base with everybody. We're going to set up the mini golf outing. That's pretty much 100% locked in for. We're going to do that in 2 weeks. March 5th is what we're looking to do. Get a little content out there. Get the guys together. This is going to be a quick one, just a short chop up of the mental game of golf. Really is what this one's about. But yeah, for the season, like I said, hoping to have everybody back. I know Mikey's going to be pretty much a full-time Pitch Putt and Puff member now, which is dope. I think he's really going to enjoy that, playing with his son all the time. Also, probably get Anthony out there a little bit more. I know Ant-Man, the Cart Man, he's looking to get on. So I got to talk to Josh and see if I can lock up this third tee time, because we're pretty much, last year was 10 guys, then bumped up to halfway through the year about 12, and now we're with Charlie and everybody else. We're 14 to 16 guys when you got, Farley and Christian and those guys looking to jump on for a weekend. So growing, Pitch Putt and Puff, Legends Golf Club. We're growing here slowly. Just released a Legends Golf Club. Speaking of that, shout out to my guy Mike out in California. Those guys are all doing good with a little delay with that podcast because of the fires and such. But we just released one of those. Gonna eventually link up with these guys. Sounds like they might be interested in coming out to the East Coast. So if we can make that happen, that'd be super dope to get these guys out here, see what our courses are like, and then obviously eventually get out to California and see what those guys are playing out there at Whispering Lakes and all the other courses that they got out there. He was telling me, though, that a few courses did get some major damage, or if not burnt out completely from the fire. Some beautiful courses. So kind of sucks out there. Luckily in upstate, all we deal with is 3 months of cold and snow. So take it for what we can get. And hopefully the snow melts quicker than expected and we can get on the course sooner than later. It's been a long winter. I haven't played much golf. A few simulator rounds, working on some putting in the house, but that's really about it. So excited to get back out there and consistently fine-tune the swing, figure out the driver. My biggest thing is really just figuring out the driver. But other than that, man, it's just get the crew together, get the guys together. It's something we missed during the winter. It's tough with all the families and stuff and kids and sports to get everybody together on a consistent basis. So Sundays for the summer is really where it's at for us, the Pitch Putt and Puff crew. Hopefully we get Bub out there for the season. He's got a little back issue he's dealing with, and we got some things going on. So hopefully everybody stays tuned in. Going to be an exciting year. Really looking forward to it. I'd like some guys, if you guys got some feedback, DM me. Curious to what your guys' approach to the game of golf is. Do you do the same thing every time? Do you, how do you prepare for it when you get there? What's your mental preparation prior to a round of golf? So DM me, let me know some of your guys' thoughts. If you guys got any guests that you would be interested in hearing from and think I should reach out to, let me know as well. And then once we get up to 3,000 followers, we're going to do a giveaway. So we'll get to that going soon here as well. We're up to about 2,200 and change. So once we get to that 2,500 mark, we'll start announcing the giveaway here soon. So once again, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Check us out on Tuesday. Gonna have a guest from the West Coast, homegirl from big supporter that We Don't Smoke the Same. My girl Browsey, she hooked me up with a hat a few weeks ago. So check that out. It's gonna be Tuesday's episode, and then we'll be back on Thursday with the chop up with Mikey will probably be on, and hopefully I can grab Kirk or a couple other guys. So appreciate everybody tuning in to the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. Make sure you guys also go check out the golfergangnetwork.com. A bunch of they're big supporters of the Pitch Putt and Puff. We were one of the first podcasts to sign up with the network and had nothing but support from these guys ever since. There's some great podcasts on there. You've heard me on the Upstate Golf guys with Anthony and company. You got the One Night in Pinehurst guys over there. Those guys are great. And then Break 80 and a few other boys. So some great podcasts, golf podcasts over there. Go check them out. Also the Legends, me and Michael are over there in the Golfer Gang Network as well. So golfergangnetwork.com. You got Jeff over there, the Golf is Life podcast. So a bunch of them. Pretty much anything you're looking for in the golf world, you're going to find it at the Golfer Gang Network. So check them out. And also don't forget to check out our sponsors, Transcend Wellness, transcendwps.com. We have Back Nine Botanicals. I'll get you T-Puff 10, save you 10% at checkout, as well as Shady Shafts, shadyshafts.com. Use promo code PUFF20. Excited for March here, rolling into March. Just means the golf's coming. We're going to have some content up for you and got some really cool guests lined up. So stay tuned and appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon.
Roll up the green, hit the links with RGB. Pitch Putt and Puff, it's our podcast theme. Talking Burton Bogies, hole in one dream. Golf cart cruising, we're the illest team. Pitch Putt and Puff, light it up, hit the rough. Every swing's a story, we can't get enough. Hazards and hard times, we know it's tough, but we live for the game, fam, that's our stuff. Got my clubs in the trunk.